What's up, fellow Vanguard nerds? I'm Babblerab, and this is my Bermuda Triangle Pacifica deck. So, I had a deck profile of this recorded a little while ago, and then I, for some reason, got lazy and was just like, I'm not going to post this. No one wants to see Pacifica. I didn't say that, but I'm kidding. So, yeah. So this is the update. It's like an update build. It's kind of a Pacifica Harmony build, which works a lot better than you would probably think. Unless, of course, you guys think that Harmony works well with Pacifica. In that case, it works about as well as you would think it would. So, yeah, this is the current build of my Pacifica deck. I do plan on actually playing this as well as Prisms at the moment. It's probably my two main Bermuda Triangle decks. There's a possibility that no, it's not a possibility. There's a fairly high possibility that I will be playing Chow Chow also competitively. But the bright side is that since I've invested in quite a bit of the new Bermuda set, pre-ordered a ton of it, so I'll probably have most of what I need from there, and it's not going to be too much of investment or anything. So, yeah. Also, pro tip, before I even start the deck profile, if you have multiple decks from the same clan, and you have staples that are in the G-Zone, do yourself and your wallet a favor and share G-Zones, for the love of God. Do not say, I'm going to go and run 16 Olivias because I have 4 Bermuda decks. Don't do that. Your wallet will hate you so much, and it'll love you so much more if you just share your G-Zones. And yeah, I don't know why I'm giving you little bits of advice before I actually start the deck profile. You guys came here to watch Pacifica deck profile, not for me to rant about G-Zone crap. So, anyway, I'll just explain the new updates to the deck. So, you've seen this already. First lesson Akari. Also, these are new sleeves because I had a bit of a dark age with my prisms like a little while ago. Dark age being a relative term, but basically I had a moment where my prisms just were not performing very well, so I was just like, well, Pacifica's playing better. Let's just put Pacifica in the best sleeves. And now that I've got the new build, the prisms are playing much more smoothly, but I want to do a bit more testing before I show you guys the deck. Anyway, so we got first lesson Akari's the starter, same starter. I'm definitely gonna try out the new Pacifica starter when it comes out because you get to you get to check the top. I think it's like 7, and then if you hit for each, or then you can add up to 3 Pacificas with different names from your deck to your hand. Of those 7 that you checked. So like if you hit a top idol like an Eternal Idol, you get them both. Akari's still good though because she bounces units to your hand, therefore enabling Marika, as well as drawing you a card, so it's deck thinning, and it also allows you to bounce Marika, which is basically the entire deck. So she's still good. Depending on how much I like the new Pacifica starter, I may or may not run it. But yeah, Akari I'm still running forever because it's Akari. 4 heal, pretty standard. 10 crit. And 2 stand. Stand is only because of Dreamer Crook. She has Harmony in her name, which makes her like infinitely more useful than she was before, because I can make her work with Celebrate Voice Loris. So that's really good. 10 crit is just because you're thinning your deck by 8 cards, and despite what other people will say, removing about 8 cards from your deck, which could be drive checks, actually does a lot more to improve drive check consistency than you would think. So, despite the fact that everyone's like, oh, you trigger set with Pacifica, no, it's not entirely luck. There are definitely some statistics that play into the fact that I can hit critical triggers much easier with this deck than my other decks that I do not pull like 8 to 9 cards out of over the course of 2 turns. So it's partially luck, but it's partially also the fact that that by pulling that many cards out of your deck, you do increase the consistency of you hitting triggers on your drive check. So it's no fluke that this deck can crit sack much easier than other decks. At least other decks I play anyway. Grade 1s. Changes are running 2 Garland Blossom Anya. Aina. I'm going to call it Anya just because Aina sounds weird. But anyway, so what she is, she's a grade 1 for Harmony. She rests herself, and then you choose another unit that is in Harmony in the same column as her. Row, column. I'm just going to read it. When it becomes in Harmony, choose one of your units till end of turn, gets the Harmony ability, rest this unit, choose all your units in the same column or row as this unit, they get 5k until the end of turn. So, what that means, how I typically do this is I'll call something behind Celebrate Voice Loris after giving the skill to that. So both will already be in Harmony. So that'll give the Harmony skill to the card behind Loris, and then you rest that, power up these columns by 5k, and then Loris will power up everything else by another 5k, so that's like 10k per column. And I just, the play just works really well, and it allows you to push really hard. The other thing is that since this isn't a pure Harmony deck, you don't worry as much about Counterblast as long as you see Friend of the Sun, so you can actually get away with using her effect multiple times. So, I like playing her. She works very well in the deck. There's that combo. I'll explain it at the end of the video. But, yeah, the combo works very nicely. with her, and I really enjoy using her in the deck. 3 Stride Nibblers. Pacifica is a Stride reliant deck now. The only deck that I could see possibly not requiring Stride nowadays is duos. Reindeers are getting a Stride. Corals are getting a Stride. Corals already have a Stride. Corals are getting another Stride. Rivier is getting a Stride. Prisms have Strides. Like, of all the Bermuda Triangle builds at this point, only one of them is not Stride reliant, and unfortunately, after seeing the disappointment of the new duo support coming in the next set, they're not going to be that relevant either. Like, the grade 3 rate Stride is massively underwhelming. That card should never have said discard 3 with the same name. It should have said reveal 3 with the same name. In all honesty, that would have allowed duos to get better, but I've already bitched about this card to my friends already, so maybe that'll be a discussion video for a later time. But yeah, as it currently stands, duos are the only deck that I wouldn't even consider striding too much in, just because there's no need. And even then, I still play Shandi in my duo deck, which is probably going to become a Chow Chow deck once the new set drops. Anyway, 3 Mona. This card is never leaving this deck. Mona's way too good. Counterblast 1, bounce unit to your hand. Easy. Easy peasy. For each Mona that you have, you get 1 more Pacifica out of your deck if you bounce America. Like, it's that simple. So, Mona, run it. Shizuku, this card's just eh. Like, when I say eh, I don't mean it's like it's not good. I mean, it's not good, but it's not bad. Because, sure, it's great. Every time she becomes in Harmony, you check top 5 and add a Pacifica, or grade 3 in this case. And she has the Harmony skill, so she works with Celebrate Voice Loris. However, her skill also isn't super useful either, because depending on the situation, I could have also already burnt through all my Pacificas. I may cut her for the Pacifica grade 1, but the fact that she does say Harmony is important. If there's a better Harmony grade 1 in the new set, I may run that instead. But as it currently stands, Shizuku's okay. She does what she needs to, which is thin the deck for more Pacifica when I don't have America, which is important. For PG, word of advice here, if you have the Unflippers, use the Unflippers if you really are worried about not running into Counterblast. I usually find that I don't have any issues with Counterblast at the moment, so I just run the default PG just because I don't see there to be any real need to use Counterblast. As long as you hit Friend of the Sun, you're never going to have to worry about Counterblast throughout the entirety of the game. So, yeah. If you have a Friend of the Sun, Counterblast should never be an issue in this deck. Grade 2s, 1 Karen. Counterblast, Soul Blast, draw a card when she's bounced. She's going to probably get cut for probably a 4th copy of In-Ray, or if there's a better grade 2 coming in the next set that has Harmony. Reason why I was running Karen was my original mentality was, okay, if I don't hit America, I need to make sure I have a way to get to America, and that is possibly by drawing cards. So Karen was good because in theory, she could have dug for cards. The only issue was that I rarely found myself using her, and then the times that I didn't draw America, usually I also bricked really hard, so I never saw her or was able to use her that effectively anyway. So she kind of just really didn't do a whole lot. I'd probably maybe run Rio instead, or yeah, probably just find another Harmony grade 2 if I can use that. So move all this stuff over here. Did I say In-Ray? I said Karen. Running 3 In-Ray. What she does is, I'm just going to read it again because I don't remember what she does. The Harmony thing is all I really cared about. So, she has Harmony, and then if you Counterblast 1, you choose one of your open rear guards, move it to that rear guard circle, and if you moved a unit against, it becomes a 10k. So, important thing number 1, Harmony. Important thing number 2, not GB restricted, so if your opponent's riding has a 10k base or whatever, you could actually just Counterblast, move her to another column by herself, and then put something over top of her column, and then she can hit the 10k by or your opponent's 10k by herself. Well, again, the main reason why I use her is because she has Harmony, and she does become a 10k attacker, and there's some use in that. But the important reason is because she's the best Harmony target that I found, and I don't really want to run Potpourri, just because it's on hit pressure, and they never let that card hit anyway, so there's no real point. I do get that her baiting out guard is half the reason to run her. However, I feel as though at the moment she has a bit. This card is a bit more use than Potpourri. But again, if there's better Harmony grade 2s coming in the next set, I may just run those instead. But this is what I've been running, and I'm honestly pretty happy because she's a pretty decent Harmony target. And I just want to run 8 of this. I want to run 8 of this so badly. We got 4 Friend of the Sun. I really want to run 8 or 16, or just like make my whole deck Friend of the Sun. Except I would never get to my Pacificas. But anyway, Friend of the Sun is the entire show of this. This card does everything for the deck. If you don't see it, you're gonna lose. if you see it, your deck goes absolutely crazy, and there's a better than even chance you're probably going to win. But yeah, she is the entire show. It's not Pacifica, it is Friend of the Sun. So that's this card you always want to see. Do not ever run less than 4 of her unless you're crazy, because you need to see her every single game, or the deck just does not operate. I don't think I need to explain what this card does, but if you want me to, I can. So when she's bounced to hand during either player's turn, doesn't matter. Search your deck for one card with Pacifica and its name, reveal it to your opponent, and then put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Then you can choose up to 3 cards with Pacifica in your hand and reveal them. If you reveal 3, and they all have different names, you counter charge and soul charge 1. Again, that's the typo there. That means it's supposed to be soul charge, not soul blast. And then you choose one of your units and it gets 5k. Like I said, this thing is the entire show. It does absolutely everything. Searches Pacificas for happiness. Pacifica and her own skill. Powers up units. Controls soul. Controls damage. Like, it does everything. If we had a grade 1 equivalent of her and that was the only other support we got in the set aside from the Pacifica stride, I would be content. Like, a grade 1 would just be amazing. Because then I wouldn't have to just rely on America all the time. But yeah, she is the entire show. Running 3 Spica because you're playing Bermuda Triangles, and if you're trying to go and play in events with your Bermuda Triangle deck, you want Spica because Spica is just a good card in general. End of story. Then we move to the grade 3s. 2 Top Idol, 3 Planet Idol, 3 Eternal Idol. Part of me is still in vain hope for a retrain of Pacifica. Can we have that? I want that. Like a stride effect or something where it's like, if you stride over this card, do this, blah, 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 blah. That would be freaking amazing. And I would probably cut, I'd probably play 4 of that, 2 of this, 2 of this, just because I want to see the retrain all the time. But yeah, as it currently stands, I don't think we're going to get a retrain. I'm begging for one deep down because that'd be awesome. But I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, Eternal, Planet, Top Idol. In actuality, I don't care what I have in my Vanguard circle as long as it's not Top Idol, and I still want to play more than one just in case I damage check her. So yeah, I don't care which of these 2 is on my Vanguard circle just as long as it's not Top Idol. So really, I don't think about their actual skills. I just care that they have Pacifica in their name. Stride deck. This is another 4 of. You should play 4 of this. End of story. Because she searches a Pacifica in her name, and when comboed with America, searches 2 Pacificas. Plus she gets 1 crit. This is how you crit sack this is how you crit sack your opponent when they're at 2 damage and win. Because you hit 2 triggers, that's 4 damage. If they don't heal trigger, it's over. She is something I would run 4 of, and the only reason I would not run 4 of her is if I don't have 4 of her. End of story. So this is another one of my power plays in the deck. I've got Olivia, Happiness, Pacifica, Loris, and then, what's her name, Priscilla, the GB8. So running 2 Loris, reason being is, again, she'll bounce your entire field to your hand, so she's an improvement over Alprina, considering the fact you can bounce as many Americas as you have on the field into hand if you're at high enough GB. And most of the time, if you've gone through both your happinesses, you're at GB 4, so you can bounce 5 cards to your hand, which is your entire rearguard circle, or which is all your rearguards. Then she has the Harmony skill. When she's in Harmony, or when she attacks, if everything on your side of the field is in Harmony, when she attacks, if everything on your side of the field is in Harmony, you choose 3 of your units that gain 5k, and then she gets +1 crit. Like, pretty much every single one of the strides in this deck, bar the GB8, gain a crit once their conditions are fulfilled. So your Vanguard is always critical in this deck, in theory, if everything's working out the way it is. So yeah, improvement over Alprina because it bounces your entire field, and it can also be used for pushes. And again, that's why I'm playing a bit more Harmony stuff in this deck, just so that I can facilitate this skill with greater ease. For Olivia right now, because it's for Olivia, when that new Pacifica stride comes out, this might actually get cut down to like 2. Interestingly enough, Olivia is becoming less and less good as a card for certain decks all the time. So like Prisms, like with the new Prism stride, I'm probably going to cut her down to 2. Pacifica, I'm probably going to cut her down to 2 for sure. So it's interesting because this card used to be for like every single Bermuda deck, you ran 4, no questions asked. And for like my 2 mains, I'm just like, I've got so many other cards I'd rather be running. I don't even know if I need to play Olivia. And you can only play her in multiples of 2. You can't go and like say, oh, I'm just going to go and run 3 Olivia just for the hell of it. No, you want to play either 2 or 4 Olivia, end of story. That's the issue. And because I want to get her effect off twice, I want to get off Pacifica's effect off twice, and then I want to get my GB8's effect off twice. I mean, I actually haven't got to the GB8 yet, but I did it in Prisms, and this deck can unflip stuff pretty much as fast as Prisms can, so if the game lasts long enough, this will be pretty much your finisher. And with the whole Pacifica mentality, or with the whole like playstyle of thinning your deck through all of your grade 3s, you should be able to hit most of your triggers anyway, off of the drive checks. So this is still a really good game ender. So yeah, I'm running 2 at the moment just because I believe I can get to it. Again, most games I played with this deck haven't lasted past like the first or second strat, just because the deck is really good at killing probably by mid game instead of late game. But this pretty much is a good end game if the deck cannot kill by mid or late. So yeah. To Priscilla, I'm going to be running 2 in my Prisms as well, because Prisms can get to that and they can get to endgame a lot quicker. But yeah. In addition, I have the G-Guard for Bermudas. However, I don't have 4 of the heal trigger yet, but I'm probably going to be cutting this for 4 of the heal trigger just in Pacifica, because it's not really specific on which cards you use for counterblast, unlike Prisms are, which I'm going to be wanting majority of my stuff to be Prisms. So yeah. The heal trigger, oh my god, not the heal trigger, the G-Guard from the New Fighters collection, it's pretty good. That's, like, this actually turns all of your Pacificas that are sitting in your hand into 5k shield, technically. To an extent, sorry, 2500 shield, technically, but it's like for every 2. And your Pacifica usually has a big hand with a lot of cards they can't really do a lot with, due to the fact that most of their hand tends to be this. So this works really nicely for the deck, since it turns that into more power for the deck. I probably want to play 2, I just need to get a second one. As it currently stands, I only have 1. But I'd probably cut Nasha entirely and just play 2 of her, and then 2 Leona, just because I can trigger America on my opponent's turn. So, yeah. Anyway, 2 Leona and 1 Nasha. And I've already explained why I'm running this. This is good with America because it can power up your Vanguard permanently for 5k if you bounce America to your hand. So that's important. And yeah. So I'm going to quickly show the Loris play and just generally how it works or why it works fairly well for this deck. Just because it's a pretty good play. So how it typically ends up working is you have like 1 or more Anyas. Just find an Anya. So you got the Anya here. You got some random other thing here. It just needs to have harmony, that's about it. And then typically, for whatever weird reason, I usually put America here, because whatever you're using usually gets rested anyway. And then you've got, let's say, just a Spica and a freaking, I don't know, put an In-Ray there. So what would happen is, like, use her skill, bounce everything if everything's not in harmony, call your harmony stuff down first, call your non-harmony stuff down second, everything's now in harmony, use this skill, counterblast 1, rest America, 5k, 5k, swing Vanguard, 5k, 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 +1 crit, 31-2 crit, do your triple drive or whatever, swing this column's now gained 10k, so that's 26 without triggers, and then this is another 26 without triggers. It's just, it forces out 15k guard. I've got it rested the wrong way, but it forces out 15k guard, which in my mind is a fairly good power play, and it should usually break through most of your opponent's hand anyway, especially considering the fact that, once again, you have a slightly higher chance of hitting triggers in this deck than you do with other decks. So odds are you will hit a critical trigger, at least 1, during the drive check, so that's important. Or so that's good. The critical triggers, they are half the reason the deck wins, so it's a little sacky. But it's still really fun when your opponent's sitting at 2 damage and you just say, okay, I'm swinging a 2 crit Vanguard at you. Okay, crit, grade 2. Okay, you need a heal trigger now. Oh, you didn't hit one? Okay, it's over. Like, this deck can kill very quickly as soon as you hit mid-game. So that's kind of why I really enjoy playing it. But yeah, so this is the whole reason why I use this combo here. I was going off task. It was because this powers up everything in the same column or row, which you don't care about the column, you care about the row, because these are both going to be boosting. So it gives both the columns 10k, which I think is pretty good. But that's just me. And I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about. I kind of just went off topic right at the end because I didn't know where the heck I was going, but yeah. So this is my update on my Pacifica deck. And if you have any comments or questions about the Pacifica deck itself, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. And yeah, if you have any, I think that's about everything else. I don't know what the heck I'm saying. Anyway, I will talk to you guys in the next video, which will be, I don't even know what the heck. Peace.